My awesome subscribers, this is SeriousDrama, and this is a game of 6v6 domination. Now, I have quite a bit of kills in this game, nothing that impressive. Just a couple of tips before I get started with the commentary. Basically, my thought process going into this game, I've been playing alone a lot lately, so I've kind of changed up my playstyle a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cap my initial flag, as you probably saw, and then camp B a little bit until I can get my Predator, and then hopefully my Overwatch, and just kind of roam around B with my Overwatch until I get my Pavlo. And there you go. Pretty easy way to get a really good solid start to a game, and I suggest you give it a shot. Pretty easy. It's not me typically, typically what I'll do is I'll go and cap our spawn flag, and then right away jump on B. This time I decided to take it a little slower and play a little bit more smart. But anyway, having said all of that, hopefully you enjoy the gameplay. Now, a while back I did a commentary, and it was kind of telling you about things that have happened in my life that have made me the person I am today. It was about a girl that I went to school with, about a friend of mine wanting to steal a car, and so on and so forth. All lessons in life that I learned that helped me become who I am, and I think ultimately a better person. Now what I'm going to tell you about is a couple of things that happened in my life early on that kind of made me who I am today, more in a negative sense. In a way, in a lot of ways I am extremely, extremely antisocial. Now, if you met me in real life, you would never suspect that. I don't think many people even know that. I'm pretty good, I don't want to say faking it, but when need be, I can turn it on and be semi-social, very friendly and stuff. A lot of times people think just because you're friendly, that you're very social and that you enjoy people. And it's not that I don't enjoy people, but I've always rather be alone. I am a loner, and early on in like my teen years and stuff, I always been the type that had a lot of friends and was always part of like athletic teams and stuff like that. So, but I always felt better alone. I liked team sports, but I liked baseball so much because it was a lot individual. When you were pitching, you were the only one on the mound, and it was me against the other team. And hitting, the same thing. It was me 1v1 versus the pitcher. That's always the way I saw it, and that's the way I am in life too. And the reason why I'm doing this commentary is because this past weekend, me and my wife went out to dinner, and I kind of apologized to her, and I said to her, thank you, for putting up with who I am. I'm a very distant person, and I can't possibly be a very fun person to be with or to be married to. And I know that a lot of times she must feel very alone in our relationship. I guess number one, because of my work hours, I'm not home like maybe your mom and dad are, or like you are, with a regular schedule. My schedule is very odd. And anyone else other than my wife, I think it would have been disastrous to our marriage. It's just not healthy. We go to bed at different times and wake up at different times, and we don't see a whole lot of each other, but she's really good about it most of the time. I mean, occasionally I'll get it where she kind of gives me a piece of her mind that she's not happy with things that I do or don't do. But she's always been there for me. And I started to think, why am I like this? Why do I enjoy being alone so much? Why do I value the time alone so much? Because I do. I really, really do. I've never been the type of person that's ever been bored. When people say, oh, I'm bored, it really annoys the crap out of me, because I've never had those feelings of being bored, especially when I've been alone. I can imagine, the only time I can really say that I've been bored is when I've been in a room full of people that I don't want to be around. That's when I get bored, or that's when I get frustrated. And I'm just quite different than most people, I think. I enjoy solitude very, very much. Having said all of that, but I do enjoy knowing that my wife is there for me, and that my family is there for me, and that my mother and father are there for me when I need them, which is a very selfish kind of way of living your life. And why am I like that? And I'll sit around and I'll think about that. And I can kind of point back to like two instances that happened really early in my life. The first one, I was about probably 10 years old. And I went to school with a kid named Abel, and he was a kid about half my size. And everybody would always pick on him, and I would always come to his defense. Because, I don't like bullies. I just never have. So I would always come to his defense, and I thought we were semi-friends. It was more like we weren't friends, but we were classmates. But, if you defend somebody and you say hi to somebody and smile at somebody, I call that a friend. So one day, the school year had ended. Me and my brother were walking to church, and I see Abel and two guys sitting on a park bench in the park. And all of a sudden, the two guys he was sitting with, one was about 17, and the other one was probably a year older than me, like 11 or so. And they came and they started like fighting with me. You know, the older kid was making us fight. And I remember looking at my friend Abel, who didn't, you know, move from the park bench, and he was there with a giant smile on his face with his arms crossed. And I remember being so young, but thinking at that time, God, you know, I spent all this time defending this guy, and this is what he's going to do. And he's just going to sit there and smile. I'll never forget the big smile he had on his face. And it kind of made me very, very confused as to how could somebody that I've helped so much do this and let this happen. You know, basically, I was in an awkward position because I was fighting this other kid, and I knew I couldn't start beating on him too badly, even if I wanted to, because there was this other kid that's a teenager and would probably kill me if I started beating up this other guy. And it just put me in a real awkward position, and I never forgot that. It really bothered me. It bothered me so much, and it kind of made me not trust people, and it kind of made me think at that time, it doesn't matter how much good you do, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. That's just something I think back on as to just a sad moment in my life as a kid to have somebody do that to you, betray you like that. Another thing is pretty silly, actually, but it had a big impact on me as well. I must have been maybe 12 years old the following year. And me and my brother were in a movie theater, and I think we were watching some movie. And I remember being really paranoid that, oh my gosh, you know, are we supposed to be in this movie? Is it like a 13 and over movie or something? And I remember me and my brother were sitting there, and I asked a older man that was sitting next to us, because you know, the people who work at the theater were going around asking for IDs, I think, or something. I remember asking the guy, "Hello, sir. You know, I'm sorry to bother you, but if they approach us, can we just say we're with you?" And I remember the man didn't say a word. He looked at me and shook his head no. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, you know, what am I going to do? I remember being stressed out about that. For some reason, it wasn't a bad movie. Maybe it was a rated R movie or something. Maybe. I don't think so, though. But him telling me no really impacted me in a weird way. I probably went another 15 years before I asked any adult for any kind of help, you know, that wasn't somebody I knew or that wasn't a family member. And it just bothered me that he didn't even take the time to even just tell me, well, no, I can't do that, you know, because I don't want to get in trouble. Or if he would have just said something, it would have changed things. But he just looked at me and shook his head no, like, screw you. And it really made me, at that point, kind of go into a shell a little bit. Both those two events kind of made me who I am today, which is something I wish I wasn't. I wish I was much more social, because I think a lot of times I rub people the wrong way, as to think, well, why doesn't he want to play with me online? Why doesn't he want to chat on Skype and stuff like that? And the circle of friends that I have when it comes to YouTube and Xbox Live is very, very small. Very, very small. Maybe 2 to 3 people at the most. I just want all you guys to know, it's not that I'm any kind of weirdo or anything, or I think I am something that I'm not. It's just who I am. I'm just not very social. I guess that's why I like YouTube so much, is because it's kind of like a voyeur type of situation where I can watch all your videos, feel like I know you guys, and I don't have to have the interaction going the other way. Same thing with my channel. I put out a commentary, I let you get to know me, and I don't have to interact that much other than in the comments, which I'm fine with. It is who I am. I'm trying to get better, and I was talking to my wife about it, and I was telling her the way I thought that YouTube has really helped me. It's helped me be a little bit more social. She didn't disagree. I don't know if she agreed, but that's why I value YouTube so much. It helps me, you know, speak like I'm speaking now, and it's not the most comfortable thing for me. It's really weird, though. A part of me feels like I'm living like a lie in a way. Because at work, you would think I was a really social person. If you ever met me in person, you would think that I am extremely social, extremely outgoing. But I couldn't be. I'm not. I'm just not comfortable with it. Even before the first time I ever played online with somebody else, I was very, very nervous about it. And I don't know, you know, there was a quote in a movie called No Country for Old Men. And he was like, he had a tendency of seeing the worst in people instead of the best. And I think that's the way I was too. I'm trying to change that. I really, really am. Hope you enjoyed this commentary. This has been Serious Drama. Be kind, be good, be safe. I'm out.
We are triumphant.